Back on the Belleville Sens podcast as the offseason continues, and some big news for the club this week as head coach Dave Bell has been extended for 2 more years. He'll be back behind the bench here with the B Sens, and he joins us on the show this week to talk about re-signing and the season that was and perhaps the season that's upcoming. How's it going, Coach? Good to see you.
It's going well, thank you.
Congratulations, first of all, on the extension. Obviously, you're pleased to have that done and dusted at this time of the summer.
No, it's big. It's big for me. It's big for my family. So just to give us some some direction for the next couple of years, and know the kids are going to be here and in the same school, and it's actually big for my son, who's able to graduate from the school he's been at for the past 5 years and a grade 8 graduation, so it lines up nicely for him to graduate with his peers, so that's a big thing for me. Yeah,
I wanted to kind of talk about the 2-year term. Obviously, you've been embedded in this community now for the past, 5-6 seasons or so. You talk about your kids, obviously, in school here as well. How important was it to maybe get that little bit of extra stability, and what is it about this team, this community, that makes you want to stick around?
Well, it's a great community. It's the right size for me. I love it. I think it's a small town feel, which is where I was raised. And you know what? When you get out in the community and you get involved in it, whether it's with the kids or my wife or myself, just being part of it, and it's a really tight-knit community where everybody helps each other out, and that's what we like about it. You know, you can go out there and you can make an impact if you're out doing a breakfast club or doing something like the Rotary group with the clowns with the Rotary stuff. So to see an impact that you can make in a smaller community, it's pretty nice to watch and see.
We're chatting with the Belleville Sens head coach Dave Bell. Obviously, the extension a testament as well to the work that you and your staff and your team were able to do this season, getting this club through a playoff round and giving the Cleveland Monsters just about all they could handle.
Yeah, no, it was good. The group was good. The staff was outstanding. I mean, it was a team effort. On any given night, it was the trainers, or it was an equipment manager, or even bus drivers going through snowstorms. So complete team effort. Super proud of the group and the staff for their accomplishments this year.
We haven't talked much about the season since after that loss in Cleveland back in early May. How have you kind of reflected on things and how this 23-24 campaign went for you and your group?
Well, I've done a lot of reflecting, obviously, from a personal standpoint and growth and things that I did as a coach, things that I got better at or things I need to improve on. But as a group, reflecting on the success of the group, and when I say success, I mean getting in the playoffs, winning a round, and then pushing Cleveland, I thought in a pretty competitive series. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, watching and looking back at guys getting their first NHL games or going up for extended stints and getting their first NHL goals or wins, that's rewarding for me as a coach. That's, kind of makes me tick, and that's our job down here to progress guys to the point where they can go up there and be impactful. Not just, I think that group up there is at a point where they need guys to come in and contribute, not just, be bench fillers and that. They're on the upswing. So when we can get guys to go up there and contribute, like I think guys did this year, that shows that we're having success down here.
Yeah, absolutely. Chatting with Sens head coach Dave Bell. A couple of those guys that have had a look up top, re-signing Angus Crookshank back again, and Cole Reinhardt as well. The first 2 signings we see that could impact Belleville this season. Nice to see those guys get a pen to paper, I'd imagine.
Absolutely. They're both good people. So that's the first thing. I think Steve and Ryan, they and Dave, they make sure they're good people that are coming back, and those are 2 great people that, Angus had another good year, a couple setbacks with injuries, and same with Cole. They both, they could never get in a real long groove with injuries, but, Angus went up and had some success up there, and I think it's a testament to his work ethic away from the puck. We've always known he could score, and he's hungry around the net, and he's good on the power play. But he needed to, and it was told that he needed to work on his defensive game and his 200-foot game, and I think he did, and then was rewarded with, a pretty decent stint up there twice, I think. So, good for him, and I'm sure he's going to be pushing for a roster spot come September.
Yeah. What's the day-to-day look like for you this time of year? How do you keep busy when you have a little bit of time?
Well, the kids. Keep up with the kids. Do as much as I can with them, because in the winter, I'm not around. Not around at all. Hardly see them. So as much as I can with them. But you know what? It's starting to be free agency time, and looking and talking with Ryan, Steve, and see who's coming back and putting things together. Obviously, putting a staff together here again. So probably, it's been a month now of downtime and letting the brain and the body recharge. So it's probably, you start to creep back in. Development camp will be in a week up in Ottawa after the draft. So, turn the hockey brain back on and just start chipping away at things you want to work on next year and systems you want to do and maybe some video you want to implement next year.
And as is always the case in the American Hockey League, the roster work, it seems like there is a fair amount to do coming up this season, obviously with a few guys already signing elsewhere, and Lassie and Larson and Yuri Smakel. But how do you kind of go about putting together another team that can be as competitive and more competitive than this year's group?
Well, that's, what, I'm kind of just a cheerleader in that. That's obviously Steve, Sean McCauley, Ryan Bonus. Those guys have done all their work with the pro scouts. So, my philosophy is whoever they push through that door, I'm going to coach the heck out of them and get as much out of them as I can. So, they'll ask me for my input, and maybe get some intel if I can, whether it's knowing a coach that coached them or a player that played with them that I know. But other than that, those guys did an unbelievable job last year putting a group together, and I expect they'll do the same this year.
A couple more minutes here with Belleville Sens head coach Dave Bell. And as much as there are holes to fill, there is also a pretty good returning group of prospects and familiar names for fans as well that will surely see this team be competitive again.
I think so. I think those guys will all take jumps, and hopefully Tyler Boucher has a good summer of getting healthy and conditioning, and Robbie Urvente's in the same boat. So we saw a little glimpse of what Stephen Halliday can do and got a taste of it. So now he'll have a summer under his belt of knowing what he needs to do. And again, the guys that are going into their third year, some guys that you expect them to make that jump and push to make them make a hard decision whether they're going to re-sign them or call them up and push for NHL spots. So I think we're in a good spot. And then again, like you said, fill it in with some good veterans and have guys take steps in their second and third years, and it should be good.
October is still a ways away, but what are you most excited about for the 24-25 season when it gets here?
I just think making guys better again. I think our philosophy was, get better every day and learn from every day, whether it was a good experience and learn from it or something we did poorly and learn from it. And I thought that, you take that approach, and the byproduct was win some games and then fortunately get in the playoffs and make some noise. So I don't look at the playoffs in October. I look at getting better from the day one of training camp when we get from Ottawa to here and just keep getting better every day.
A lot to happen before then, but we're already looking forward to, and glad to see you back behind the bench, Coach. Thanks for the time, and enjoy the rest of the summer that you do have around all the work that is still to be done.
Thank you. You too. You too.